Tis is the season, and I know I have a long wish list of firearms and accessories this year. So, Andrew, what have you seen people buying at your store as of late?
Well, we're a little different in that we, are manufacturer and make our own rifles. So a lot of folks that are coming in to buy a custom rifle or custom pistol, very individually tailored for somebody for a very special gift. And we put together some different combos and kind of one of a kind. But there's been a lot of folks buying handguns for concealed carry. Mm-hmm. So we noticed a big resurgence, and I would say that of all those, I can't keep a Glock 43 in the store right now. Really? So that's been really popular, and several other models as well. But that's been one that has been really tough to keep in. And then our rifles, but it's been across the board. A lot of at the same time right now with hunting season, a lot of guys are running out to a deer lease or somewhere like that, and they see something that their buddy has, and they come running back, say, "Man, he had this, and I got to have it too." So there was.
So is it? So I'm assuming it's pretty typical that sales. How high do sales typically spike during the holiday season? Is it kind of just something that you notice, or is it like, holy crap, what's going on here?
No, it's huge. It's a big part of our year. And the holiday coincides with hunting season. So for us specifically, we have so many rifles geared towards hunters. So they go in tandem. So a lot of folks are comboing. Hey, I'm buying my Christmas present for myself early. The wife told me to go pick out so that I can have it in time for hunting season. We get a lot of that. But no, it's a massive part of our year. Without it, if we saw a slump during holiday season, during hunting season, our sales and many other retailers probably wouldn't make it through the rest of the year.
Gotcha. It's interesting. So with the Glock 43, are they buying just the stock Glock, or are they buying the stock Glock 43 along with the customized version that you guys make as well?
Yeah, they buy the customized version until we sell out. We'll get them in Monday. Typically, they don't last long. And then we do a hybrid. So, the cool thing about our shop is that most of the time while they're doing their paperwork, if they want night sights or they want a trigger added to a factory Glock, we can do that. And then we do in-house stippling here as well. So some folks will leave them, come back the next week. So you get everything from the full-blown custom that we do to kind of a semi-custom to just taking a factory out the door.
Gotcha. So are you saying, do you see a lot of people buying kind of just generalized parts for certain guns, just as stocking stuff? Is that pretty normal, or is that something that doesn't really happen as much? Or people just really focused on the guns?
It's mainly the guns, not a lot of, or they're not telling us that it's, so people buy parts coming in that are building a rifle or doing things like that. But for gifts, most people are buying, they might buy, for example, what was real popular was also the SIG MPX and a Vertex backpack, so they'll put it in the backpack, throw some things in the backpack and stick it under the tree. Or Benchmade knife along with this pistol. So folks are trying to, it's almost like they're putting together a little kit that they can put under the tree for folks versus just, throwing a firearm under there.
Gotcha. Now, do you see this at all? Pretty often, I don't want anybody telling on themselves, but for people, like for a lot of people who aren't too familiar with the purchasing laws, do you see people coming in and say, oh yeah, I want to buy this gun for this person, or I want to buy a gun for my husband, and you have to tell them, well, you can't actually do that?
Very little of that. And most of the holiday, or I'll say Christmas rifles, guys are actually coming in, buying it, saying, my wife told me to go pick it out for myself. Gotcha. And I can tell you, my wife hates shopping for me. She said, just go buy whatever you want because you're not going to like what I get you, or you've already got everything. And, most people are, unless they know exactly what somebody wants, especially on firearm, there's so many different choices. Most guys are coming in and they just got the green light to go pick out their own Christmas. What we see.
Gotcha. What about suppressors? Are you seeing a lot of those move at all? I mean, I know there's a caveat. You got to deal with the wait time. So do you think that hinders a lot of the movement of suppressors, or are they selling just as fine?
Suppressors really haven't slowed down. We sell, we're a little different in that we've got the silencer shop kiosk in the shop. So really, from the time you tell me you want a silencer, in 15 minutes, we've done your application. And so we take a lot of that pain out of it. Yes, there's delayed gratification in that you don't walk out with it. Yeah. But, crossing our fingers for Hearing Protection Act. But it's, silencer, And that's another thing. Guys go to the ranch, and there's 10 other guys on the deer lease with them. One guy's got a silencer, and once you shoot a gun with a silencer, you can't get back to the store fast enough to buy one.
Oh man, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So now with you guys custom builds, what tends to be the top seller?
Right now, again, it's a hunting rifle right now. So the 6.8 SPC has been super popular for us. Guys that are looking for that, they want to hunt with an AR, but so our MC6 and the 6.8 is under 6 pounds, and so guys that were hunting with an AR-10 but don't want to carry a heavy rifle around have found the 6.8 and found how effective it is on deer and pigs, and we can't keep a 6.8 in the shop.
It's funny. I don't have too much experience with the 6.8. What am I missing?
You're missing that it's super lightweight, shooting 120 grain bullets. It's ballistically very similar to a 270, and it's just one of those rare calibers that with the 120 grain SST or 100 grain GMX, it hits deer like the hammer of Thor. And we use it extensively, as a lot of guys do. It's bad.
Now, how about utilizing it as a defensive round?
We actually do several SBR configurations in 6.8. We've done it for several agencies. The same consideration needs to be paid, just like you're using a 5.56. Make sure you're choosing the right ammo. But it's a great defensive round as long as you're choosing the right ammo for the right application.
Gotcha. Now, I recently picked up a drawer bin for my truck. I'll show it to you when I come by the shop later on today. And basically what I have it set up for is I want to have my truck carbine. And if I were to ask you out of the guns that you build, what would be a perfect setup? I would need something probably in the SBR range in terms of length. But from your experience, what do you think would be the greatest setup for something like that? It's going to be the carbine I'll leave in my truck. In the event it stays there, it's going to be locked, ready to go. If anything ever were to happen while I was out driving or on a road trip or something like that, what would you recommend?
No question. I'd go with a 300 blackout PDW.
Okay.
And probably an 8-inch barrel. We do a lot of those for actually some highway ice units also. And it's small enough that PDW, law enforcement uses a PDW to put in a saddlebag of a motorcycle, or just like you're talking about, easily concealed. But especially with the silencer, you can get, you can put it even with the silencer in a pretty tight space. And my son used one 2 weeks ago, and he hunts with it in a 300 blackout with a Trigicon MRO on it. He made a perfect shot at 80 yards, and that's exactly what it's for. It stays in the Ranger with us. So, yeah, no question. That's what
300 blackout.
300 blackout PDW.
Now is that based on the notion that I'm gonna suppress it? Because I think so. If I didn't suppress it, what would you recommend, or would you think it would still work just the same?
It's going to work the same, but anytime you start shortening the barrel, especially at 8 inches, it's going to be loud as heck without a suppressor. But then you can look at an 11.5-inch PDW and I like going with the PDW type stock because you can go a little longer barrel and you can still collapse it down.
Okay, so for people who aren't too familiar with the differences between a regular, just typical stock and a PDW stock, what tends to be the differences?
The difference is that overall length of the carbine in the collapsed position, the PDW is going to be on average 4 inches shorter. So you can basically get it almost as small as a folding stock AR without having to go to a folding stock.
Folding stock. Gotcha. Well, man, appreciate it, man. I can pick your brain for hours, which is what I'm going to come do after the show anyway. But I really thank you for joining me on the show today, and look forward to having you back.
I appreciate it. We'll see you in a little bit.
Absolutely. We're going to take another short break, and when we come back, Antonio Okafor joins us to talk about campus carry.